Bucket Accounting for Amazon Sellers, an add-on course for Amazon Seller's Guide to QuickBooks. Bucket accounting methods are not as new as we may think. We use these methods when we post to sales tax payable, payroll liabilities, prepaid expenses, or any other accrual-based account. These types of accounts allow us to set aside amounts that we will need to pay future expenses. The term accrual refers to any individual entry recording revenue or expense in the absence of a cash transaction. In other words, we're not actually spending the money, we're just setting it aside for later use. The proponents of bucket accounting often call it cash basis because we're taught to move cash around to different bank accounts or envelopes. And that's fun if you have tons of cash for all those additional bank accounts. The requirements for minimum balance or regular direct deposits to avoid profit gobbling fees can be kind of hard to do. Let's face it, carrying around envelopes of cash is just not safe either. Cash is not easy to track in business accounting. Well, you can, but it's not fun. Accountants generally frown on spending cash for business purposes unless you are tracking it through like a petty cash account. And technically, this is kind of what we'll be doing, minus the additional bank accounts and envelopes and cash and running from bank to bank. Dang, I'm exhausted just thinking about that. Good news, we don't have to do it. A popular book on the market recommends a form of bucket accounting, Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. Apologies if I messed up that last name. The author has a different take on accounting than commonly accepted practices. And hey, different is okay as long as it works. More power to him and his followers. I will help implement some of his practices or recommendations with the exception of all those extra bank accounts. I have to confess, I have not read his book. I have watched him on YouTube and read info on his website. I've listened to users and professional accountants try to explain easy ways to use it for QuickBooks. Can I just say, wow, I was totally lost on some of those how-to videos. Too complicated for me. I wanted something easier. It doesn't matter what we call this system. We just want to know how to make it work for us. Basically, Profit First just pulls out the profit so we don't spend it. And I have no problem with that. In the old days, we called it budgeting. I know, that's a dirty word. Nobody likes to live on a budget, do we? And it's okay. I'll show you how to decrease the pain of it. Knowing what we can safely spend is the first step. Basically, the idea is to move income to other accounts at regular intervals and in small amounts, making it almost undetectable to our minds. Well, kind of. It reminds me of the old Christmas Club account I had way back when. Let me explain this for our younger folks. Employers would work with a bank to provide an account for each employee who wanted to participate. We could choose an amount we wanted to have deducted from our paycheck each week to be deposited automatically into the Christmas Club account. Back then, I could only afford $5 a week, so for 50 weeks, my employer would deduct that amount and send the money to the bank. About 2 weeks before Christmas, the bank would issue checks to depositors. I'd have a big check for about $250. This was plenty to buy my whole family Christmas gifts, with some left over. Times have changed. We have something similar nowadays called an IRA, or an individual retirement account. The principle is the same, but with a longer payout window and better returns if we do it right. And I hope you're taking advantage of this type of account and investing those funds to grow it even quicker. I highly recommend this method for all personal finance, whether you are saving for education, vacation, or a new car, paying off your mortgage years in advance. Using automatic transfers is a great way to move money and not even miss it. But that's a different course. I know I mentioned cash and accrual basis in the beginning of this course. Please don't confuse this method with either, or decide you can't use it because you use one or the other. It's just a method of putting amounts into our chart of accounts, and we will call those accounts buckets, wash buckets to be precise. I chose the name because the accounts are not really income or expense, nor are they assets or liabilities per se. Those amounts are already accounted for in our regular accounting. Wow, that's a lot of accounting. The wash buckets will simply hold figures as reference to help us make our spending decisions without the need to actually create full-on bank accounts at multiple banks. I mean, who wants all that headache? No, you do not have to call these accounts wash buckets. Name them whatever you want. In QuickBooks, you will make them bank type accounts. We will not be reconciling them as we do with other bank accounts. There's no statement to reconcile. Money will flow in and out of these accounts. Some accountants will refer to this type of account as a clearing account. We use wash account in our main course, so you should be familiar with it. This method will give you access to all your money and all your buckets in one accounting system with only one checking account required. Sound good? I think you're going to like it. If you decide you want to add bank accounts later, you're free to do that, but you are not required. We're doing this course as an add-on to our Amazon Seller's Guide to QuickBooks. It will work with Mac, PC, or Simple Start Online. We'll use the pre-existing posting sheets and add to the knowledge we already share. We can start wherever you are. No need to backtrack. In the courses I referenced earlier, I show how to post Amazon payments using biweekly statements or monthly reports. You can use the method you are already using and just add this accounting to the end of your entry. There's no need to learn a whole new accounting system. That's a relief, huh?